underline it in this day. Here's the Lord's promise of blessing over you and your households. Here it is. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 6 to 12. He says so when I say, is this not the kind of fasting I've chosen? He's been talking about religious behavior, getting God's attention. So let's just put in there, is this not the kind of religious behavior I have chosen? To loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke and to set the oppressed free. Wow. I like that kind of religious activity, he says. Right? It's important. And then he says, and break every yoke. I really like that. Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor shelter? When you see the naked to clothe, not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Wow. So that's what Cornelius was doing. He's just giving and praying. That's what he's doing. He's being religious. But interestingly enough, that giving part is really critical. Look at verse 8. Here's what happens to a people like this. And this is our future. I'm declaring to you our future. And I just encourage you to do more of the former, what I just mentioned about the giving and the going out, being outward, not inward. Don't pull in, pull out. Go out. Don't pull in, go out. And do it in a sound mind, in a reasonable way. Go out. You can do it. You were meant to do that. Because what happens in verse 8, guess what? When you do that, guess what? Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Wow, that would be nice. Wow. I take care of others, and he takes care of me. Wow. Great reason for giving financially, great reason for giving in love to your friends and your neighbors, great reason for being nice to people and praying for them, all the thing, right? It works. This is the way the kingdom works. It's the upside-down kingdom. The Lord will, he says, then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord. No, I got to go up higher. Let's go verse 7 again. Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. I really like that one. Watch my back, Lord. I feel a little vulnerable today. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. We called today. And you will cry for help, and he'll say, what? Here I am. Here I am. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, in other words, if you just love people, and if you spend yourselves on behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, wow. We do the Mercy Warehouse out of compassion, but boy, there's some fringe benefits here. Then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He'll tell you what to do. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. I don't care about anybody else's economy, but the people's, those that are walking this life, so their economy is looking very bright today. You'll be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins, and you'll raise up the age-old foundation. You'll be called, that's what we're called to be, repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. So these things that the church did in the early centuries, that's exactly what they became. That's why the Roman Empire, a couple of centuries later, became fairly Christianized, religious anyway, because of this kind of activity by the church, being the salt and light of the earth. So I want to just do this in response to this message. Just give you a chance to respond. So what I'd like you to do is, if you would like to, you can just stay in your seat and do this. But what I'm looking for is, the pause behind the pause, right? So